What you just witnessed is the scariest 30 seconds of every week. Doing the deadlift. Deadlifts are scary. Sometimes I shit myself. I often harm my skin, as you can see. Of course, there's always a possibility of a severe injury. It's not called deadlift without a reason, after all. And yet I do it because it's a very important exercise. But that's actually not the topic I want to speak about with you. My name is Shai Dothan. I'm Associate Professor of International Public Law at the University of Copenhagen, Faculty of Law, and I teach as one of the courses there, the Legal English course, which I also direct. And over the years, I've written dozens of papers and several books in several languages, mostly in English, and I would like to convey to you the necessary tools that you need in order to succeed as an academic, as a professional in numerous other fields that require the need to write. The most important thing that I need to stress, and that's the reason why I chose this video, is I cannot teach you all you need to know. I cannot teach you vocabulary. Maybe you will find a few words that I use useful for you, but I think there are going to be very few of them. I cannot teach you grammar. I myself am very, very bad in grammar in every language, including English. What I can teach you is a set of tools to get the motivation to start working, to start. And that's exactly what this video shows, because every time before I get to lift this weight, that's 180 kilograms there, and start the set, I am terrified. And yet I find a way to start to do it. The purpose of this series of lectures is to try to do exactly the same in the field of intellect. So try to get over all the things that are stopping you from reading more, writing more, learning English, practicing English, and probably we'll get to quite a few other subjects, but the use of language allows you to study, from sociology to philosophy to theology to economics. That is the purpose of these lectures. The first tool in order to start is to remember that procrastination is the enemy. Procrastination is continuously delaying the tasks that you have. And why is it the enemy? Because, first of all, you don't get anything done. And more importantly, the feeling of bitterness that is created when you're wasting time is poisoning you for the rest of the day and sometimes for a very long time. Humans are engineered to be able to endure a lot of pain and to continue, to keep on going. But humiliation of a sort that comes from not doing your best is something that is very difficult to forget. I want to stress this again. Try to think about that again using the metaphor of a deadlift. When you work really hard, if you sit down in front of a computer and write for 2 hours and try to do the best work that you can, it's going to be painful in a way. It's going to be uncomfortable. You may feel tired at the end. You will be exercising your capacity to think and pushing it to the limit. And that's going to be something that in a way will hurt. But then afterwards you go and you drink a glass of water and 10 years later you forget about it. You don't really feel this pain anymore. Whereas if you would delay the work and avoid it and find excuses to avoid it, your self-image will be eating at you for a very long time after that. I often give an example in my classes of a small injury that I had in the army. When I was in basic training in the military in Israel, I got an infection in my leg. The leg basically blew up to 2 times its size, and I remember that I was brought to the hospital, and the doctor looked at the leg, and he was consulting with the nurses whether to bring me to the operating room or to do something on the spot, and then, completely unexpected to me, he took out a knife, or kind of a surgical knife, and cut the wound. And basically the wound exploded. There was pus and blood everywhere. Disgusting. It was very, very painful. And after that, he told the nurse he needs to take mishtach. I didn't know what mishtach means, even though I know Hebrew very well. It's my mother tongue. But it sounded to me like something from the etymology of that, like something flat. Shatuach is flat, so they're going to squeeze out all the pus from my leg. It's going to be very, very painful. When I brace myself of the pain, and then the nurse comes and with an ear pick basically takes a tiny bit of blood from the wound, and that's going to be sent to the laboratory. Now, the interesting thing is, I can remember very, very well bracing myself of the pain, getting ready for something very, very painful. I don't remember the pain of the explosion of my foot. It's been many, many years ago. And I try to explain this to my students. If you don't get to work, all these times there's voice in your head saying, you are a loser, you're not doing your job, your priorities are not right, you always fail. If you start to work, this voice is going to shut up and you can really get into the actual work that you do. But that's very, very hard to do. Again, because you fear the pain of effort, that's one part of it, especially if you have been doing very, very serious work and you know how it feels to be exhausted. But to tell the truth, that's a minor part of it, especially today. We are not used to very, very difficult mental exercises. What we are used for is keeping ourselves entertained and under the influence of information all the time. And you cannot even realize how a person, I'm just 43, I'm not very old, but if I remember growing up in the 80s, when there was in Israel one channel in the television, no computer games, no obviously YouTube, internet was not existent. If you wanted to get yourself entertained, you went to the library and you read, or you went to the nature and you played with your friends. That's what it was. I mean, one of the things that I think we lost the most is this ability to have an inner monologue, a situation where you're not consuming information, you're organizing your thoughts in your head, putting sentences one after the other. One benefit of that is you put much better sentences when you're doing that for hours every day because you're not constantly interrupted. The other benefit of that is these sentences are telling you, sit down, do your work, get your priorities straight. This is something that you can really take with you if you shut up this resistance. So there are many tips and tricks and ways that I can recommend in order to become more efficient, more successful, learn faster, learn better. But the first thing is just to realize, just like I do when I'm going to lift this deadlift, it's going to be painful, it's scary, but that's my set and I have to do it and I need to do it now. And every second more that I'm going to postpone it beyond what is necessary for recovery and within the training system that I have, is just going to make it worse, much, much worse, because it's going to create not just pain, but bitterness. And this pain will disappear very, very quickly, and this bitterness will not disappear. It will just grow and grow and affect my personality and my success later on. So before delving in to anything else, in terms of techniques, getting ready to start studying, how to write, the first thing that you need to remember is fight against your procrastination, fight against yourself, get yourself ready to work, because the pain that you will feel from work, the discomfort, is something that is temporary, and the bitterness that will grow inside you because you don't do what you're supposed to do, this is permanent. It will stay with you forever. It will just grow and grow like cancer and feed on the better things inside your personality and inside the way you organize your life. You can find all my tips on improving your English in my book, How to Master English as a Multilingual, now available also in paperback.